Throughout the foundation of the body-mind are navigational programs carrying patterns of feelings and movements. At the foundation of the body-mind are navigational programs carrying patterns of feelings and movements. And this is a key component of the foundation of the body-mind that affects our personal realities in every moment of every day for our entire lives. Hundreds of trillions of energetic pathways throughout the body-mind carry these navigational programs that have patterns of feelings and movements. And so in every moment of our every day, the way that we're navigating our lives, the way that we're experiencing our lives, the way we're experiencing the instinctive navigation from the body-mind, the way we're consciously responding, the way we're automatically responding, all of it is being recorded in the body-mind, affecting the unconscious memories, the implicit memories that affect the way we feel, including emotions and sensations, and the way that we move, including responses and decisions and choices and habits and patterns of instinctive bodily activity. Even our posture comes from a pattern of movement in unconscious memories in the body-mind. Our ability to experience happiness largely depends on the quality of the content and connectivity throughout neural wiring of these unconscious memories that carry navigational programs in the body-mind with patterns of feelings and movements. And when we start to practice mindfulness and self-love, we can start to actually shape-shift these navigational programs. And so if we're moving through life and there's patterns of feeling and moving that don't serve our experience of happiness, and happiness has a lot of different things encompassed in it. It's peace, relaxation, joy, worthiness, compassion, presence, empowerment, confidence, satisfaction. Moments where we are just purely content and grateful for the satisfaction of the moment. But if we're not present and we're not connected in love, then we don't have as big of a capacity to experience that happiness or that contentment or that joy or that elation or that ecstasy or that awe or wonder or deep, deep appreciation for the little things. But when we can start to actually shapeshift the body-mind navigation to have these patterns of feeling and moving that support happiness, support contentment, support satisfaction, support gratitude, support presence, support compassion, then the body-mind can assist the essence of self to experience sensations of pure, blissful, innocent, joyous, satisfying happiness. And we can have moments of living happily ever after in our everyday life. And so we think of living happily ever after as there's this big, grand, majestic, wondrous thing that happens, and then the story's over. But our experience of living happily ever after actually happens in micro moments on a regular daily basis. And so we can shapeshift the way we perceive living happily ever after, as it's not some big giant thing that happens at an end of a story. It's all of the teeny tiny microscopic things that happen every step of the journey. But we won't have the opportunity to notice that and experience it and be fully present with it if the navigational programs of the body mind don't have these patterns of feeling and moving that support our happiness and that wholeness and that well-being and that satisfaction and that contentment and that elation and that eagerness and that sense of awe and wonder and feeling the newness of a moment and experiencing the beauty of life like we've never seen it before, experiencing the beauty of moments like it's our very last moment on earth, to be so deeply fully present, to be in such ecstatic awe of the little things, to be so fully in presence that every little thing is more wondrous and beautiful just because we are so deeply attuned with the wonder of the moment. And so a healing journey intention can be, I wish to live happily ever after in everyday life, and allow different practices of mindfulness and self-love to support that by actually having navigational programs in the body mind that carry action patterns and feeling patterns, or feelings of movements and emotions, that instinctively and automatically support this navigation of living happily ever after in the micro moments of every day. And it's beautiful because when we dive into that process, then we can actually start to shape shift the navigational programs that already exist. And so if there were moments that we didn't live happily ever after, that created information in the body mind. And when that information is activated, those patterns of feeling and movement, feeling and moving, project themselves into the navigation of our present moments and can often disrupt our ability to be fully present in a moment, because we're actually subconsciously experiencing projections from moments past that are stored in the navigational programs now. And so when we set an intention to shapeshift our navigational programs of the body mind to carry patterns of feeling and moving that support the desire to live happily ever after in everyday life, not a big thing that happens at an end of a story, but micro moments, small moments, teeny tiny moments in everyday life where we can live happily ever after, where we can be fully present with a teeny tiny bug and just be in awe at the patterns on its back, or we can look at the bigness of the sky and be in awe and wonder at the shapes of the clouds. The little things that are the big things. When we set an intention to have navigational programs of patterns of feeling and moving that support our desire to live happily ever after in everyday life, we can rewrite existing information and expand into new information, heal and restore the body mind, and further expand it into the navigational programs we wish to experience in our unfolding. You know, how do you want the body mind to be feeling and moving 5 or 10 years from now? It's not just about right now. It's about the navigational programs of the body mind that will impact the way we feel and the way we move, which will affect the way we think and the way we connect with ourselves and the way we experience life and stimulus and associate with our own existence and everything. It's about the navigational programs of the body mind that affect the way we feel and move for our entire lives. And we can rewrite the existing information and expand into the information we wish for the body mind to carry as we continue on the journey of life. And start to live happily ever after in the little moments. And little moments can become big moments when we are more deeply present and attuned with them. The little moments can become big moments when we are more fully within them. And when the navigation of the body mind supports that. when body-mind navigation supports us having these patterns of feeling and moving that help us be in this deeper loving presence to experience the living happily ever after in everyday life. And this can start by just practicing mindfulness and self-love in fun and simple and enjoyable ways. And there are hundreds of thousands of ways to do this, which is wonderful. Because if we don't like one route, we can always find another. It doesn't mean that the journey of mindfulness and self-love and living happily ever after and having patterns of feeling and moving in the body-mind that effectively navigate life, it doesn't mean that that path isn't for you. It just means that maybe there's a different way to apply that information to allow it to really fit you and feel good for you, because everybody's different. But we all deserve to live happily ever after in everyday moments. We all deserve to have navigational programs with the body-mind that help us feel and move in ways that support our well-being, and have opportunities for satisfaction and gratitude and appreciation and contentment and happiness and joy and peace, and just that satisfaction of like, wow, that bliss of being alive. Among my infinite offerings, I have this course creation called Healing into Happiness PLAYbook. And this creation is a miracle on like 200 trillion thousand different levels. I'll just get into a couple angles of it right now to share it with you. And if it speaks to your heart and soul, you can explore it further and see if it might be a good fit to support your healing journey of loving liberation and assist in shape-shifting the navigational programs of the body-mind to have more patterns of feeling and moving that support mindfulness and self-love and happiness and wholeness and presence and satisfaction and the ability to notice everyday magic and the ability to connect with the magic of our own existence and the ability to more deeply be present in mind, body, spirit connection to experience the fullness of ourselves and the fullness of each moment. Healing into Happiness PLAYbook was first created when this body-brain could not create new conscious explicit memories. And so this body-brain was only recording patterns of feeling and moving. It's so fascinating. The more that I integrate and move along my journey, the more fascinating these concepts and the journey and the implicit revelations case study and everything that's led to the work that I do, the more fascinating and miraculous it becomes. So when Healing into Happiness PLAYbook was first created, this body and brain could not create new conscious explicit memories. It was only recording implicit experiences. It was only recording the way the body felt and the way the body moved. But within the feelings and within the movement, there was no sense of self. There was no autobiographical details being recorded in the body-mind. Those things were happening, but the body-mind wasn't able to actually attain any of that information. It was only recording information about how there were feelings and movements. That's it. Just unconscious memory data was being gathered at that time. And there's very little memory of actually creating the Healing into Happiness course, as fascinating as it is, with all of the different stuff that was going on at that time towards the beginning of 2020, so about 3 years ago. And it's amazing because I look through the PLAYbook now, and over half of the prompts, they're play prompts, they're called play prompts. I'll tell you more about it in a second, but just to touch on the miracle of it first, at least over half of the play prompts are actually instinctive habits that I have because the experience of using the course, using the PLAYbook, using these play prompts created navigational programs that held patterns of feeling and moving in this body-mind. And so there's all of these different habits that I have of noticing rainbows on signposts and certain ways of connecting with mindfulness and self-love when on a picnic or taking a shower or on a drive or when you see something and you're out and about. There's all these different things that just come up in everyday life. And I have all of these instinctive habits. And they're from the play prompts of healing into happiness, even though there wasn't a sense of self having any autobiographical experiences when that was created. And so it's just incredible because no matter what we are consciously remembering, right? The conscious particulars that we're aware of regarding what's happening, the conscious details, we're like, okay, I know who I am and I have this sense of self and I have a me that I'm associating with. And then, last week we did this and yesterday I did this and today I did this and tomorrow I'm probably going to be doing this. And, there's XYZ things going on in this area of my life and there's XYZ things going over on this area of my life. And there's all these conscious things that are happening that we're aware of. But what about the unconscious things? What about the way that we're feeling and moving in every moment? What about the speed of which we're walking? What about where and how our eyes are looking in each moment? There's all these unconscious things that the body is gathering all of this information. And it's resculpting these navigational programs that carry patterns of feeling and movement. And so when you go, for example, to take a shower, how do you know what to do? There's shampoo, conditioner, face soap, maybe, whatever you got going on. How do you know, okay, this is how I turn the water on. This is how I set it to the temperature I want. Okay, I first do shampoo. I then do conditioner. I then do face soap. Or maybe I first do face soap and then I do shampoo. And then I let the shampoo sit there. And then I come back and wash the face soap off my face. There's patterns of movement that help us know how to navigate everyday moments. That's coming from the unconscious memories. And then we have patterns of feeling. You go to do something, you go to take a bite of food, and do you just automatically, okay, it's just another bite of food on another day? Or are you looking at it like, wow, look at all the textures. Wow, look at all the shapes. Wow, look at all the colors. Oh my God, can you feel the way it's squishy or crunchy or that taste? Can you differentiate the different flavors? Like, wow, I'm alive to experience this taste of a bite of food I've never had before. These are patterns of feeling. Patterns of feeling and movement in the body mind that help us navigate these everyday realities that seem so normal and so ordinary and so commonplace, but they're not. They're all miraculous. Navigating these everyday moments is miraculous. And the deeper we can go into resculpting these navigational programs with the body mind, the more expansive life becomes, and the more beautiful and the more magical and the more miraculous and the more wondrous everyday life gets to be. And so Healing into Happiness Playbook is this at-home self-guided course type thing, but it's really just a play of love. It's just a play of love. It's not inner work and it's not light work and it's not shadow work. It's a play of love. We are here to play. We are here to enjoy. We are here to play. And so whether we're healing from something or expanding into something, the journey of loving liberation gets to have this lighthearted sense of play. And that was a really, really, really huge theme, okay? And so in 2020, this brain and body, complete brain hemispheric disconnectivity. There were times when the body would be walking and one arm would be swinging but the other wouldn't be, just like while you're walking, because only one side of the brain was actually engaging. The brain hemispheres were so disconnected. And new conscious explicit memories couldn't be created. And so moment by moment, day by day, there was no memory of what had just happened. And there was no ability to remember any of life. There was complete amnesia. And there was independent memory centers. And so out of hundreds of trillions of energetic pathways, there is independent activity throughout all of these different centers that was navigating and regulating existence. And so there were different parts of the self that didn't connect with each other, and these independently developed memory centers were providing alternate styles of navigation even without being able to consciously remember any past experiences or create new memories. And there was no sense of self, and there were multiple states of dissociative age regression where the brain and the body were literally reverting to stages of early neurodevelopment and experiencing life through the brain-body activity of a young child. And there was so many different things, and all this dysregulation and brainwave dysregulation and disintegrated data and projections from incredibly not good experiences that were affecting the patterns of moving and feeling. And there was like trillions of health challenges and like all these battles and struggles going on. And the consciousness that was in that experience in 2020 within this thing, but like I'm like a totally different me. So it's the consciousness that was in the brain and body when it was then, right? Set a very bold intention and said, how playful can I be with this? How much fun can I have with this? How playful can I be with this? How much fun can I have with this? How can mindfulness and self-love be practiced in fun and simple and easy and joyous ways that change my life permanently? And how can I use just the very simple tools of what's already here and present in my just everyday normal reality and engage with them in a new way to actually start to shapeshift the navigational programs of the body-mind that have patterns of feeling and moving that are affecting my entire existence from the inside out. And so even with chronic, stress responses and brain hemispheric connectivity and all types of dysregulation and severe amnesia and a complete mind-body disconnect. Forgot to mention that one. Complete mind-body disconnect. Okay, that's a big one, right? So there's like the inner reality of the mind, and at that time there's like dozens of different states of activity because of all the independently developed memory centers, even though there was severe amnesia. And so in the mind, there was all these different senses of what was happening, and then there's what's happening with the body, and it had no connection with each other at all. Like being able to feel things, there was no mind-body connection at all. It was completely disconnected. And so with all of this stuff going on, it was, how can I play? How much fun can I have? How can I practice mindfulness and self-love in a way that permanently changed my life for the better? How can I create this felt sense of attachment, well-being, and reteach my brain and my body how to move and how to feel and how to perceive and how to engage and how to interact in a way that heals and restores all of these structures while expanding into these new navigational body-mind programs that will support my ability to experience happiness in everyday moments. And so Healing into Happiness Playbook is a course creation that's designed to last about 1 to 3 years, but you get to make it your own and use it in whatever way you desire. Okay, personally, I've already been enjoying the Healing into Happiness Playbook for a full 3 years. And when it was created, all of the concepts practiced had already been applied for about 3 years. So it really does create these new navigational programs that can benefit you for a very long time, which is awesome, because like that's the goal. Like you're not here to like plant some seeds and then like that's it, and then you go to some other garden and you're like planting different seeds. You're there to plant the seeds and watch them grow and expand and become these beautiful plants you get to like enjoy for years and years and years. And that's what it is. These practices, they're not just practicing it for the moment of practicing it. You're practicing them to plant seeds of navigational programs in the body mind with patterns of moving and feeling and moving that will continue to affect the way you feel and move for years and years and years to come, to support the happiness that is your birthright to experience. It's your birthright to live happily ever after every day. It is our birthright to live happily ever after every day. It is our divine birthright to live happily ever after every day, in all the little moments of beauty and love and wonder and awe and gratitude and satisfaction. as we marvel at the magic and the mysteries of existence. So Healing into Happiness Playbook has a wide variety of play sheets. They're like worksheets, but like way more fun, right? They're like worksheets. It's like a workbook, but it's way more fun. It's a playbook with play sheets. And so there's a lot of play sheets, and it can help you get clear on intentions and kind of track some observations and progress along the journey and assess your brainwave state and nervous system regulation state and different things. And so these play sheets can really support the healing journey of loving liberation. And then the core content of this course creation includes 95 play prompts. They're prompts, kind of like if you're, writing, and then you have like a prompt. There's that thing that tells you something, and it's your starting point to go on a journey with that idea, a prompt, okay? But they're play prompts. They're ways to play in everyday life, especially, but not limited, to practicing mindfulness and self-love in different ways. They're play prompts that help you to play with the miracles of existence. And each one is different. There's 95 of them. And so basically, the journey's kind of, you go through, you play with the play sheets and explore them and write them and whatnot. And then you explore the play prompts kind of one at a time. And then you find some of the ones you really, really enjoy the most, and you make it a priority to practice them. And then you kind of cycle through them and start to create these new daily habits or new daily practices that are really planting seeds in the body mind with navigational programs that carry patterns of how to feel and how to move. And it starts to shapeshift and expand everyday experiences. And so with 95 play prompts, you get to kind of go through all of them at your own time and your own pace in your own way over several months. And then as you go through that, you can kind of track which ones you really enjoy the most, which ones actually bring the most benefit. And some of them can be surprising. You might find one that's like, wow, this really helps me regulate my nervous system and I wasn't expecting it. Or wow, this one really helps me feel really loved and supported, and the sense of attachment well-being. This is a practice that really supports my well-being. And so then you can kind of find your favorite ones and really focus on those ones, and then make these patterns, these practices through your unfolding. And it's just 5 minutes here or there a lot of the time, but it's a way that actually shapeshifts everything. Because if you have a practice in the morning and in the afternoon and in the evening where you do something for 5 to 10 minutes, but it actually brings your brainwaves and your nervous system into greater regulation, expands your mind-body connection, and creates a felt sense of attachment well-being so you feel more safe and supported and loved and respected, then the next few hours are going to be better because the navigation and regulation of your body-mind and the connection you have with yourself has improved. And then it keeps going, the moments add up, and we get to heal into happiness. We get to expand into well-being. We get to experience living happily ever after in everyday life. And so Healing into Happiness Playbook has 95 play prompts plus a variety of play sheets. And each of the play prompts are like 1 to 9 pages, I think. On average, they're like 2 to 3 pages each. So they're short, and it's just these short, simple activities. But the simplicity of them is what makes them so powerful. Because even, for example, when my brain and body, this brain and body, were going through all of these dozens and hundreds of health challenges and couldn't even create new conscious memories, total mind-body disconnect, practicing these play prompts every day in the months and years before creating Healing into Happiness Playbook and the months and years following shapeshifted the navigational programs carrying patterns of feeling and moving that still positively affect my everyday life. And so we're not just practicing something to practice something, we're practicing it to shift the navigation and regulation of the body-mind. And in doing so, We expand our now, we heal the past, which is presently existing body-mind information, and we expand the future where there are navigational programs of the body-mind carrying patterns of feeling and moving that support our ability to instinctively experience moments of happily ever after in everyday life. So it's powerful beyond measure, but it gets to be fun, and it gets to be easy, and it gets to be light, and it gets to be blissful, and it's a beautiful, beautiful unfolding. And so if this concept interests you, I invite you to explore my Healing into Happiness playbook. It's amazing, and there's lots of information on the webpage about it, so you can really explore more about it and see if it's a good fit for you. And if these ideas interest you, but healing into happiness isn't quite where you're vibing, please feel free to explore all of my other offerings through services and creations. These concepts are applied in so many different ways through a wide variety of content creations and personal services with me, and I would be honored to serve in the healing journey of loving liberation as we resculpt the foundation of the body-mind to more effectively support the well-being of our true essence, so that we can all live happily ever after in everyday life as a collective consciousness of divine love.